Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again. Yes, to hit you with a video. Now, this video right here comes out of Louisiana by way of New Orleans, by a neighborhood inside of New Orleans, suburb actually called Algiers. Big shout out to everybody in that boot, the great state of Louisiana, and also everybody in New Orleans, everybody at Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Alexandria, Pineville, Monroe, Bastrop, Shreveport, Ruston, every damn well. Big shout out to you all. Now, this story right here is a story that's still in development, even though they have caught the killer. And the killer turned out to be this woman's, yes, this woman's very own boyfriend, with ex-boyfriend, because she didn't want the guy no more. And what made this story so tragic is not only the fact that this guy, who wasn't doing anything with his life, didn't have anything going on with his own life, decided the best thing that he needed to do was take this woman's life and also the life of her child and also of the niece. He tried to kill the other two victims also, which were her children, but they survived. Thank God for that. So what he did, he attacked these kids while they was in their sleeping. And they said this happened around approximately 1:30, between 2:30 a.m. in the morning. So the mom returned home, and as the mom is stepping inside of her apartment, he attacks her downstairs with the hammer and basically beat her head in with the hammer. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's what happened. He beat them all in the head with the hammer. So the mom ended up dying, the niece ended up dying, her child ended up dying, and the other two kids is also right now in critical condition. So let's keep them in our prayers also. And if anybody have a GoFundMe link, because I was trying to find a GoFundMe link up to this story, but I could not find a GoFundMe link. So if you find it, will you please share with me? That way I can put on my platform and we can try to assist this family in any way that we can. But this goes to show you this is a classic thin line between love and hate. And also, not to tell anybody how they should live their life, because I'm not one of these persons to sit up here and try to tell you how you should live your life. All I'm saying, when you know better, you're supposed to do what? You're supposed to do better. We know the outcome of hanging with people, men or women, who are thugs and bums and who do not have anything going on in their life. Just like this guy who decided to kill this woman, Mr. Leonard, had been involved in with law enforcement as far as dealing drugs, selling crack, running from the police, spent a few years in prison. And people are entitled to change, but if you see somebody, they're not changing, they still remaining the same as they was 5, 10 years ago, still getting in trouble, you need to let that person go, because they go to show you this person do not give a damn about anything, just like Mr. Leonard did. And Mr. Leonard turned out to be only 33 years old, just a waste of a life. Now, they also talking about charging this guy with first-degree murder, because if anything classifies as first-degree murder, it is this situation right here. Now, due to him doing this in the state of Louisiana, Louisiana has the death penalty, just like Texas have it. I don't know, most likely they're going to give him the death penalty, but most likely they will give him life. And I'm sorry if this offends some of you people out there about hearing stories like this. If that's the case, you should turn the channel, because you already know what the video is about. You already know what the platform is about. We speak about everything. Just because I don't speak about certain things that you want me to speak about at that point does not mean that I would not get to it. But if that's the case, you can make your own channel and you can speak on whatever you want to, because people have a hard on for trying to tell you how you should run your platform and how you should speak. So what you should do, that I advise you all, is go make your own content, and that way you won't have to worry about nobody else content, since you want things done a certain way, because you cannot tell people what they're supposed to do on their own platform, because you know my videos are to help people and inspire people, also to warn people, and also make you laugh sometimes. But this is a very serious subject right here. If you're dealing with somebody who clearly does not give a damn about anything, and this goes out to men and women, this is not no men bashing channel, this is not no woman bashing channel, this is an evil bashing channel, people who do dirty shit bashing channel. That's what we bash. We don't go after people just because their ethnicity, their color, their creed, or their sexuality, whatever you prefer. We don't do that. So let me make that clear. But anyway, I'm going to read a snippet from this story, and I'm going to give my opinion. Surely, as we go, a complete ambush. Authorities say sleeping children couldn't fight back in fatal Terrytown hammer attack. And once again, big shout out to everybody on the West Bank, everybody in Terrytown, everybody in Algiers, Gretna, everybody. Now, it seems that 10-year-old Aiden Riley, 9-year-old Dariana Encolate, 12-year-old Adriana Riley, and 14-year-old Nashana Riley never had the chance to open their eyes, never had the chance to scream out in pain, never had the chance to fight back, while Terrence Leonard, Yes, sound like somebody who would do something to your children. Sound like somebody who would wait till they sleep, because most likely if they was up, they probably would have got with his ass unless he was high off that booger sugar. Now, Terrence Leonard used a hammer to beat each child as they lay in their beds sometime Tuesday night, March the 5th, according to the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. There was no signs of a struggle, no defensive wounds such as broken hands or forearms that might have shielded them from some of the blows, official said. So basically, he caught them in their sleep, because you know if somebody hitting you, you're going to try to block and your hand may get hit and you may have a broken bone or some contusions on your hand. But due to the fact there wasn't no injuries on these children and they were still asleep, they pretty much speculated that they died in their sleep. Never had a chance, probably even know what the hell happened. The children had just had blunt force trauma to their heads, injuries that ended the lives of Aiden and Dariana, and may they rest in peace also. Evidence that the four youngsters never woke from their slumber while they were being bludgeoned to death, basically beat in the head to death by this sorry-ass bastard, Terrence Leonard. And for you all who want to take up for these guys, shame on you. What if somebody beat your ass in the head? What if somebody beat your children in the head? I bet you wouldn't want to take up for them then. Anyway, this is the most horrific thing I've ever seen. Deputy Jefferson Parish Coroner Dr. Granville Morris said Thursday, and that's pretty much horrific for a damn coroner to say that. It was a complete ambush on the children. Now, it's sad for a grown person to lose their life in any aspect, but to do it to children shows malice, and they need to put this bastard to death, because there's no excuse for this situation. Now, he want to tell the police that he was high off crack, he was high off of drugs. You weren't high off of drugs, because when you did that, you tried to clean the mess up with the blood. That's why they found the blood smeared everywhere. So you leave and then you go get your mama. And I don't know why guys will get their damn mama. Like, mama's going to protect you from everything. You wouldn't worry about mama when you was up here killing these kids and killed this woman. If anything, you should have listened to your mama and stayed your ass in school and had a better life. And maybe you, Mr. Terrence Leonard, wouldn't have to face the rest of your life in prison, or possibly the death penalty. But most likely they're going to give you that death penalty. Anyway, but Leonard, 33 years old, but look every bit of 48 years old, wasn't done. According to Sheriff Joseph Lapinto, he lay in wait for his girlfriend like a damn snake. That's what snakes do. That's what bastards do. That's what trolls do. They lay in wait. You know what I'm saying? They catch you while you ain't looking, while you're off guard. And Miss Christina Riley, 32 years old, young mom of three, a mother of three. You took this woman from her children just because she didn't want your nasty ass no more. Riley, children, and Dariana's aunt. When she returned to the Terrytown apartment the couple shared shortly after 2 a.m., he used a hammer to take her life as well, investigators said. Now imagine if you out there, you with your mama, you with your homegirls or whatever, you headed back home, and then not knowing these are your last final minutes left on the face of this earth, because you done got hooked up with this rattlesnake in who's in your apartment waiting to bite your ass. You know what I'm saying? Now you hear the snake rattlers, but you think that this snake is not poisonous when he shows you that he's poisonous. Why would you pick up a snake and then you see that it's a snake and see it's poison in there and still allow that snake to stay in your house? So you're going to get bit. And just in this case, it wasn't only the mom, Miss Christina Riley, may she rest in peace, that got bit. It was also the children also, because if they would have got his ass on away from her, not saying that he wouldn't have came back maybe, because evidently he had that much hate in his heart for her and her children. But if you would have got this bastard out your house a whole lot sooner, maybe it wouldn't have came to this. But, let this be a lesson for everybody else. Stop having people around you who clearly do not show you any respect, do not have any love for you, and will not better themselves, because what would happen is that they will bring you down, period. You cannot be on one accord, on equal level, if you going to the top and this person steady sinking to the bottom. What would happen? That person that's sinking to the bottom will drag you down to the bottom with them. And the moment you try to cut ties, they're going to try to end your life, because misery loves company. Detectives arrested Leonard Wednesday night and booked him with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and obstruction of justice after he confessed, no speculation, to the gruesome slayings. Lapinto confirmed during a press conference Thursday afternoon. Adriana and Ashana Riley survived the attack by a miracle. They're in critical condition right now, so let's keep them in our prayers. Also, both girls were still in critical condition Thursday. relatives said. While Nashawn's condition hasn't improved, Adriana seemed to be progressing, according to her grandfather, Emmett Rhodes, 53 years old. She's not talking, but she's giving you the thumbs up. She's coming around, Rhodes said. And that's a good grandfather who's there for his grandchildren, period. So big shout out to Mr. Emmett Rhodes. Now, family members have not yet told Adriana about the deaths of her mother, brother, and cousin. Now, she don't even know her mom's dead, her brother's dead, and her cousin's dead because she's fighting for her life. And they don't want to put that on her. And there's a quiet chance that her other sister, who's in critical condition still, is, you know what I'm saying, hopefully she don't die, but, you know, you never know about this situation. So that's not something that a person should be able to have on them when they're trying to heal themselves. So evidently the family is keeping this from her until she comes around, and hopefully she'll be able to take the news. But I don't understand, how can you take any news like that? You don't even have to be in critical condition or hurt. If somebody tell you that your mom, your brother, cousin died, trust me, if you have any love for them, it will, not saying kill you, not trying to be funny or anything, but it will hurt you, period. Whether you in full health, you might get sick, stressed out, or whatever, you know. Now, deputies discovered the bodies of Christina Riley and the two slain children, as well as two critically injured girls, just after 7 a.m. So they already been laying in the house dead for a few hours. Wednesday, after receiving a 911 call requesting medical help at Riley's apartment in the 900 block of West Monterey Court in Terrytown, Riley, Aiden, and Dariana were pronounced dead at the scene, Marr said. The 911 call came from Leonard's mom, according to Lopinto. Leonard had apparently left the apartment and came back with his mom in tow so he could discover the crime with her to create an alibi, authorities said. And that's a classic case right there. Why do guys, grown-ass men, always try to call on their mamas and stuff? You're grown. Your mama can't save you from this shit right here because your mama wasn't with you when you was out there selling their drugs. Your mom wasn't with you when you was out there doing all kinds of illegal shit. Your mama wasn't with you while you wasted not only this girl time, her children time, and also your time for what it's worth. Instead of bettering yourself, the only thing you have to do is just better yourself, and you wouldn't have had this problem. But this is what happened when people want to be thugs and gangsters and stuff and thinking that there's some glorification in that, and it is none. And I advise anybody, separate yourself from those type of people. That doesn't mean that you don't have to love them or care about them. But understand this, you know, if you see that person out there, they live in a certain way, eventually trouble is going to meet you at your house. So get those people away from you. You can take it however you want to take it, but trust me, the statistics prove it. The videos prove it. When you separate yourself from these people, you have a better chance of surviving. That was after Leonard tossed the hammer into a nearby garbage can and tried to clean up the bloody scene, an effort he eventually abandoned, according to Lopinto. So not only do they got the murder weapon, then they got the confession. It's pretty much an open and shut case. And believe me, it won't take too long for this one to go through the state of Louisiana judicial court system, because one thing they do not play is with murder and first-degree murder, and especially the murders of a mom and their children also. Now, Leonard's mom, who has not been identified, went to the Rose home 1 block over and frantically told them to come to Riley's apartment, according to Emmett Rose. Now, why would you get your mom involved in this? You the one took our time to kill this woman, but this goes to show you how much of a coward a lot of these guys is. Number one, you had no business killing that woman, but why would you go get your mama involved and have your mama seeing this gruesome death? You know, what kind of man is that? The same kind of man who would sit there and kill a woman, I guess, a mom and her children. Now, Leonard sent his mama over here that morning, Rose said. That's the grandfather, Mr. Emmett Rose. He pretended that he found them like that. And that is the ultimate insult. Imagine you over there grieving, and this bastard, this guy who y'all know wasn't no good. And trust me, it's like that in any family situation. You know when certain people in that family structure is no good. And you have this same person there who killed your granddaughter and still had a nerve enough to want to show up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, killed your daughter and still have the nerve enough to want to show up like they ain't did nothing. That's just like somebody stealing your money, then trying to help you find it. And then you find it, they looking at you like you crazy, like, oh, I ain't know it was right there. Investigators don't believe Leonard's mom knew her son was responsible for the murders. And I'm not saying that she knew that she knew the son was responsible for the murders. Matter of fact, I doubt if she did, because most black people, you ain't going around no dead people, especially if your kids done killed somebody. You damn sure ain't finna go up, because the first thing you gonna say, you ain't finna have me involved in that shit. I ain't going down for you. So most likely she probably did not know, but some of them do and they still go. Now, Emmett Rose spotted Leonard when he arrived at his daughter's apartment. I thought authorities didn't let him inside, and it would be hours before he knew which of his grandchildren were dead and which were hospitalized. Now imagine, you know what I'm saying? That would have took all the life out of me just seeing this guy. All of a sudden you scrolled up and here I am and my child and they're dead and my grandchildren, and you got the nerve enough, the gall enough want to show up. I mean, we probably had to set it off right there. It's a good thing that Mr. Emmett Rose showed some kind of restraints, because it would have been like that movie, A Time to Kill, would have had to get you right in front of the police. Now, to Emmett Rose's eyes, Leonard didn't look like a man who had just committed 3 brutal murders. And that's how evil looked, because guess what? I mean, some of these people have no heart. They have no soul. So they can do the most evilest thing and they won't even show it on their face, because how do evil look? Period. How do evil supposed to look? It's not going to go around looking nervous and cowardly or with sweat and blood dripping from his mouth. No, it's going to be just like a normal looking person. And that person, what's inside of him, that's where the evil resides. But sheriff's office detectives noticed him immediately, because they don't have so many damn run-ins with his ass. And for a person to have outstanding warrants and all kinds of criminal histories, you know, records and arrests, why in the hell would you upscale this shit and kill this woman? Wouldn't it have been much simpler just to leave? Just to leave. But this goes to show you, some people want you to suffer just as much as they suffer, because he most likely, well, not most likely, he wasn't doing anything with his life. He looked very suspicious, very, very nervous on the scene, Lapinto said. For obvious reasons, we detained him and started questioning him on where his whereabouts was. Now, Morse still seemed unsettled Thursday by the viciousness of the murders. He couldn't say how many times Riley and the children had been hit with the hammer, but he described their head injuries as massive. Basically, probably beat these kids' brains out. You know, and this the coroner saying that. And he said he never seen nobody, you know, for us on a scale like that, beat that bad in the head with any kind of weapon. So that goes to show you the damage that this man done, this devil done to these poor people. It was like something out of a horror movie, Morris said of the Riley's apartment after the slayings. You can't unsee these sights. And that's why I give much respect and props to people who are doctors and morticians. I can't be around all that blood and dead bodies. I'm sorry. Relatives, friends, neighbors, first responders, investigators, the entire community have been left bewildered by the crime's brutality. And everyone wants to know what could possibly have been the reason for the attack. I just told you the reason for attack. You're dealing with a sorry-ass bastard, no matter if it's a man or a woman, who does not have anything going on with his life. And the fact that he knows that you don't want to be with him, and the fact that people that came and told him that he need to leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? So evidently, his ultimate plan was to destroy you, because he didn't go nowhere. Most men would take that, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you serious? And some guys don't even actually serious. Some guys be ready to leave. But you have these weak, these marsh men who want to live off these women. See, when you got your own thing, you know, you ain't worried about nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Because you can make it on your own. A lot of these guys need these women to survive. And I'm sorry if it hurts. Some of these women need guys to survive. But people know when you don't want them no more. But it's your job to get them away from you, because you have too many resources out here that you can reach out to make somebody get the hell on. But one thing about a crazy ass person, they will come back. So it's a different story. That's why you need to have your uncles on deck, brothers on deck, real men in your family on deck. So in case these men want to get out of line, you have other men to deal with them, because a man is not going to deal with another man the same way he will a woman. Period. Point blank. Think about that. Now, Christina Riley's parents suspect Leonard was angry because she wanted to end the couple's year-long relationship. They only been together 1 year, and he already acting a fool like that. 1 damn year. And you acting crazy like that? I wouldn't give a damn if it was 30 years. You tell me you don't want me no more, shit, I'm out the damn door even before you finish your sentence. You might be telling me I don't want Burger King. And I'm thinking you don't want me no more. I'm already gone. You were talking about Burger King. Let's continue. Now, Emmett Rose wasn't exactly sure of his daughter's reasons. He never heard of any violence in their relationship, but most likely it was some violence. But your daughter didn't want to put that burden on you, didn't want you to worry yourself, because most likely she felt you would do something to his ass. And in some cases, I hate to say it, but when you hear stories like this, the aftermath, maybe somebody should do something to some of their asses. because it makes no sense. Now, though a neighbor, reported often hearing arguments between the couple, so they stayed arguing. Why? Because you got one woman working, doing things the legal way. You got one guy over here being a complete jackass, want to be the baby Tupac, baby 50 Cent outlaw gangsters, like that stuff is real. So you're not going to be able to make it like that, because one living in reality, one living in a false reality, thinking that this thug life is going to pay off, and it don't. LaPinto said there were no official reports of domestic abuse made to law enforcement because she never called the police over there. That's why you all kept hearing them argue. But she never involved the police because she probably felt sorry for this guy due to the fact he had this long criminal history, and she didn't want it to feel like she was putting him back in jail. But sometimes it's best to put their ass back in jail, better than you going to the grave. Let's go and finish now. But Rose and Riley's sister, Cianta Peppers, said the couple had problems. She didn't want him no more. She told him that. That's a key word right there. She didn't want him no more. If somebody tell your ass they don't want you no more, what that mean? They don't want you no more. They're not beating around the bush. You should be man and woman enough to accept that. Take your lick your wounds, put some Band-Aid on it, some ointment, some Neosporin, and walk on. You'll live to fight another day. But anytime you take it upon yourself to kill somebody just because you know they don't want you, that's a shame right there. Now, Riley's mother, Ada Rose, said during an interview with the news station that she didn't want him no more, and she kept telling him that. Now, Emmett Rose said he had a talk with Leonard several months ago. Even the dad come and try to talk to him and told him he needed to go. The dad came and told him, look, my daughter don't want you no more. You need to go. See, that couldn't beat me. I'm going to tell you one damn time, and you're going to have a certain period of time. You can say, well, Trey, you ain't bad. You ain't this. Nobody's up here trying to do all that on YouTube. That's not for social media, but we talking about real life situations. That's why you need real men around you. Whether they're kin to your family, you need somebody you can count on. Everybody needs somebody you can lean on. But the dad told him, the mom told him, you need to go. My daughter don't want you no more. And this guy still decided to stay there. So ultimately, he was planning something. But this is what he told the dad. But Leonard didn't want to break up with Riley. Leonard reportedly told Rose it's going to get better. And you know your children, period. You know when your child is telling the truth. You know when your child is lying. You know when your child is serious. You know when something is troubling your child. When you talking about the grown ones now, we ain't talking about when they kids now. We talking about grown, because they're not going to tell you everything. You know, because some of them don't want to put that burden on you, or they scared of what you may do. But that goes to show you right there. I'm going to end it right there, and I'm going to leave that link in the description so you all can go check it out. When somebody tell you they don't want you, then you have family members coming telling you this person don't want you, and you still around, and anybody hearing this conversation, and you had to tell somebody, take heed, because it's always room somebody that you would change. You would do one thing, and that will be to change your ways. You wouldn't get in no more trouble. You wouldn't sell no more drugs. You wouldn't run from the police and all this stuff and high-speed chases and stuff. You would sit down and try to better yourself, whether you start a blog or go get a job or whatever. Go back to school, get a trade. There's so much more you can do. But anytime you want to live this thug life, this gangster life like that is the way to be. It's always going to be a dead-end road. Something bad is going to always happen. But if somebody don't want you no more and they tell you they don't want you no more, you should respect that. You should be man and woman enough to leave that person alone. Let me know what you all think about this video. And also, if you all know the GoFundMe link, please send that to me so we can put it up so we can help this family out. And if you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share this video with your family and friends. And remember, there are always signs. And the signs was when she told him she didn't want him no more, he wouldn't go. When the mom came and told him he needed to go, he wouldn't go. When the dad came and told him he needed to go, he wouldn't go. And he still saw his ass there. Somebody should have had him removed. And a lot of people say, I want to get in my children's business. Well, guess what would happen then? You would end up having to bury him. It's no other way to say it, period. You know, not trying to sound boastful or brag for whatever you want to say, but you have to make the move, period. You know, your children, it's up to them. Let me know what you all think in the comment section. I'm out.